videotaping and doing like a speaking, broadly Christian type stuff. I didn't stay for the whole thing. But I noticed you all had these jerseys here, and it's regular jerseys, but it had these frills type stuff. So I left, then I went to work as usual, and I saw other people with regular jerseys with the same frill type stuff.
That's right?
Yeah. So I saw it, then I remembered yours. And I was just thinking, like, what's it about? Like, so if I ever got the opportunity to ask what's it about?
Alright, first thing you go to, right? How it does love you? How is love God? How is it true that you love God?
Following his commandments.
You follow the commandments of God, right? Now we're going to show you in the scriptures itself, right? Book of 1 John 5 and verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Right? So read it again. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. Right? So the scripture say, right? That's out of the Bible. There's no my words, there's no any one of our words here, right? For this is the love of God. So this is how you does love God. Right? By keeping his commandments. If he say at all, a man shouldn't dress in a corner, a woman garment, that's a commandment. We gotta dress as men, right? Right, so this is why you can see we wearing these things here, right? So there is Numbers 15 and verse 35. So that here 38. Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the border of their garments. So this is fringes, right? There is not what you call it just now, frills, right? But they call it fringes, right? Throughout their generations, and we still are making current generation coming about still, right? So the commandment was from since back then, but it still stands today, right? That they may put upon the fringe of the border a ribbon of blue. So that is why you can see the blue ribbon here, right? This is the proper way to wear. It shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord. So it come like I see you and your wife walking on the road that day, right? I can look at her and remember, hey, I can't be looking at the next man's wife, right? So wearing the fringes is a lawful thing in the sight of the Most High. Also, the purpose of wearing fringes is to keep the law, statute, and commandments holy. Holy means set apart. Right? You're not keeping the commandment, well, the laws of this land, but you're keeping the laws of the Most High, right? Meaning that sometimes we might have certain laws of the land that go against the law of the Most High, right? So if you bounce up a law of the land that go against the law of the Most High, obviously you know which one you have to choose. You have to choose the law of the Most High first, right? Right. So that answers your question, right? Why we wearing this, right? What type of people we is according to what you know we is? Like what race of people we is?
Well, with regards to race, I will say Afro-Trinidadians. But in terms of religious type, I could take a guess. I'll say like a Seventh-day Adventist type.
Alright. The way in the scriptures is telling me religion is something that we should follow. The only person in the Bible tells us to follow religion. So where we get this from?
That is something that we get from our parents and people around. They tell us, well, we should go to church and we should follow the religion.
What is church?
Well, in the real sense, church is a building that people come to pray and
Where we can find out in the scripture.
passages that tell you come as you are. But the Most High tell you to repent ye therefore and be converted. So that pattern, that thing which you say, come as you are. Because you can't come to God as a sinner and say that I serve in the Most High. You have to change from your ways. That's what repentance is, right? So you have to change your ways, that you was things that you was doing in the world, right? Truly seek after the Most High and find a congregation that you know bringing out the word of God according to which is you see in the scriptures, right? You don't just follow and say, well, let's say this church just be on fire and this and run to go to that church, right? Because the Most High say you're not dealing in temples built with hands, right? And I would ask you a question. How it is before fathers come to this land and around this side?
Well, how our forefathers came to this land would be through well, some of them would have been already here, like the Amerindians and whatnot. Then through things like slavery and immigration.
Slavery, right?
Yeah.
So what form of transport brought us here in the slave trade?
Maritime.
Ship, right? You believe that would be in the Bible?
I'm not sure.
Right, not to your knowing, right? Right, but to your knowledge, you come here through slave ship, right? Right. And the people that was put on the slave ships was
Well, they were many different people. They were mainly, but I know they were African slaves, Indian slaves. There were a lot of other slaves.
you
I
can
don't
find
know.
anyway. Indian meaning
Hindu,
the Native Americans or people from India.
not from India. Well, more native.
One native, right?
Yeah.
So the native, right? So we're going to show you that the natives come through slavery, right? On ships, right? And these was Israelite people. So read start out 60, 28 and 64.
It's the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other.
Right, so the Most High is saying that he's going to scatter a certain nation of people from one end of the earth where they're dwelling from, scatter them around four corners of the earth, right?
And here shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou slackest. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Right, so we're going to praying to the other gods and them sort of follow after the other nations and them, right? Serving Krishna, Buddha. All of a sudden we're going to be saying that we're Muslim, bowing down to stones and praying to it, right? But that is not we custom, that is the custom of the other nations and them, right? Right? Read down to 68.
Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships,
Right?
by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right, so we see here that Musa is saying that we don't scatter our former slave ships across the four corners of the earth. And as you say earlier on, right, that is how we forefathers got brought to Trinidad and around the world, right? So the Musa is talking about one nation of people. Right? This is Israel. They are not Africans, right? That the Israelites was put on slave ships and sold to the four corners of the face of the earth, right? And this is read back on last month.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
Right? And no man shall buy you, meaning nobody going on free, right? So we were sold, the Israelites were sold into slavery for bondmen as slave men and bondwomen, slave women, and nobody shall buy, right? So we could just put take out the word buy and put free, right? So read it over.
And ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
Be sold unto the other nations, right? Indians, the Africans, well, the Africans is known as Hamites in the Bible, right? The Indians and them and Chinese, everybody have a different name in the Bible. They change the name so we cannot trace back who we is and who them is according to the Bible, right? But we are the Israelites that were sold into slavery, right? When you go into Deuteronomy 28 from 1 to 14, telling them all the blessings that the Most High will give Israel if you only keep His commandments, right? As we read in 1 John 5 and 3, say, if you love me, keep my commandments, right? And then from 15 on down, it tell you that if you break the commandments, these are the curses that He will not put on you, right? So, read it out.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall free you.
Right, so nobody will not free you. You're still in the land of captivity, still today, right? What somebody curses on them, go down to 5.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all His commandments and His statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right, and curses are a good thing or a bad thing, man. Right? Because if a man tell you that I'm going to go do shipbreaking, that's a curse, right? A man, like you know, if you watch how the Israelites living, right? How we people living, right? You'll see that these are cursed people, right? We going through the curses. Indians and them could afford to drive a nice car. They could afford to lend you something for you to drive and all. You can't have, you have nothing to lend them, right? And the scriptures talk about the same thing, that we will always be borrowing and them will be the ones to lend you, right? But the Most High tell you that if it is we listen and obey the commandments, we will be in control of everything. But we forefathers breaking the commandments, right? And that is why we in this position here today, right? So this is some of the curses. Verse 16, Deuteronomy 28 and 16, I want you to see, right? Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field, right? So we living in the cities. We own businesses on them. We own maritime, we own the car companies and them that selling vehicles. We own these places on them.
We can't 100% do it. It's 100% possible.
No,
I
mean, yes, it's possible for we to own something, right? But do we own it right now?
not the majority.
Right? And even the little some 1 or 2 people that own business of our own people, right? Where you getting your materials and everything from the other nations, huh? Them giving you laws on how to rule your business, how to run your business, how to run X, Y, and Z, right? So that means if it is you independent, you still have to ask your parents to leave you home at whatever time you choose to leave.
It's not independent.
Yeah. If you are independent, right, which means you have your own home, right? But an independent person still have to ask your parent permission to leave. Because you're independent, right? You're doing things on your own, right? Right, so what a fool we people with is this idea of being independent, right? They make you believe that you're independent, right? But when you look at it from a close view, you realize you're still dependent on these nations and them for everything, for food, water, clothing, everything, right? So we're not free, right? And this is what I'm trying to bring about here, right? Cursed shall thou be, cursed shall be thy basket and thy store. Meaning your basket is your food supply, everything, right? We don't have no business that running no food business. Meaning like we supplying a nation with rice, beans, XYZ. You understand what I'm saying, right? We don't have no business that doing these things on a mass scale. A man might own a little some small thing, right? But even though he getting supply from who? From the other nations and them. But we don't own no plantation. We don't own these things. We depending on the other nations in order to get these things, right? Right? Even the cars that we drive in. We don't own no car place. No car business. Right? When you're buying a car from wherever brand you're buying, you'll always see the next nation of people that own this business. Right? We don't own that. The shoes you wear, we don't own that. We are no shoe store. They might have a little, one or two brothers might have a little money and bring down some shoes and open a little small thing, right? But again, where you getting your supply from? We have to go to get stock from. The other nations, right? Because we don't own Nike, we don't own Jordan, we don't own Under Armour, we don't own none of these brands, and we don't own Gucci, we don't own none of these things, right? So you have to go to a slave master in order to get these things, right? This is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 28. I mean 32. Thy son and thy daughter shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and feel with longing for them all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. Right? So these nations and them seen all over the world that just take away with children from a young age, right? So they have to control whatever they is called the name, right? And if you ain't doing X, Y, and Z, they take away your children from you, right? Right. When it is the halfway in poverty and we do have enough money to see about the household properly, right? These are the nations and them have a system put in place to take your children from you, right? Right? Them make it in such a way that it's hard to take care of the home according to them laws. So they design it in such a way that they could always have power over the children and them, right? Even in slavery, they used to take the children and them away and they send them to Master Tom for the next plantation, right? You had no power in your hand to get back the children and them, right? This is something that we nation of people keep going through over and over and over. But the reason for it is because we're breaking the law, statute, and the commandments of the Most High. Right? And this is something we need to understand so that we will understand what type of people we is as a nation of people. Because the Indians know who they is, the Chinese man know who he is, you know where he come from. If you ask people where we come from, as you say earlier on, you say Afro Trinidadian, right? Nowhere in this Bible would you find Afro Trinidadian. Right? Because we lost as a people. We don't know who he is clearly. Right? Every few years they like to call, first we is black, then we is Negro, then we is Afro-American, we is African. Every few years we name keep changing. Right? You ever hear the Indian man name change from Indian to something else? You ever hear the white man change from white man to something else? Chinese man? Chinese name is Mohab in the Bible, right? The real name, right? Mohab. The white man name is Esau, right? But they change the name to these modern names so that we don't know who they is according to the Bible, and most of all, who he is according to the Bible. Because what a man call you, that don't matter. What the Most I say you is, that is what matter.
Can I say one?
Yeah. Go ahead. Ask a question.
Okay, well, I had a few things, so I'm trying to go down the list. But the reason I stopped on because I don't want to forget. So, okay, so the names, we'll start with the names. I think that, no, I'll start by saying this. believe it or not, actually agree with 99.9% of what you say. Actually agree, believe it or not. But I must say, and I'll just use the names for example, and I'll think it will kind of give a generality of what I'm trying to say with all what I wanted to say. With the names, with us, it's true, you don't hear a lot of names changing with other races. We do have a lot of names that always change and they always calling us something. But we have a bad habit of encouraging names that they call us, and I think we underestimate how huge of an impact that can have with us calling these names, us calling ourselves these names, sorry, and then feeling bad that other people call us these names.
Alright, now let me just clear up that point here, right? Now, when you see, as I was saying earlier on, in Deuteronomy 28, from 1 to 14, that's all the Most High blessed with the keep the commandments, right? From 15 on down, it's showing you all these things, even these names that we call your own self, is a curse. Right? Alright, it come like you give a man a job. Right? That's what I bring. Right? You give a man a job, right? And he come in as in any high position on the job, right? But then you drop his standard to something lower. Right? You get a customer, well, he stay there for like an X amount of years, right? So he know a customer and his mindset is now that I might be a clean. Let me say a clean. Right? Anybody ask me, why you a cleaner is this or whatever it is. So instead of calling, you get a customer calling yourself something that is not. Let's try a small example, right? And this is what going on with the nation of Israel right now. We don't know who is Israelites. Right? When you look back up in the scriptures, you see that the Most High part curse on the nation of Israel for breaking the law, statutes, and commandments. As I keep saying, in Deuteronomy 20 from 1 to 40, showing you, if it is we keep the commandments, we're going to bless Israel. And if it is we break the commandments, we're going to curse Israel, right? So you see with the names, right? Let me prove to you here. And the names is one of the curses that in the Bible, right? This is Deuteronomy 28, just a little larger now. So you can see much better about where to see. Right? Because we had to prove, the scriptures say a man should, when he talk about the scriptures, he had to prove all things, right? I just can't come and give you my words and tell you what this is scripture, right? So this is Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30, we start at 37, right? And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword, meaning they will call me all different things, right? Get the first time was called nigger. Right? And thou shalt become an astonishment, and a proverb, and a byword, meaning they will call you nigger, black, African, Negro, all them different names, right? Among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee. So wherever it is we go, one name, famous name for the so-called, and the so-called black. Black is the color of his shoes, right? Black is the color of my shoes. Black is the color of my jersey. What color your skin is? So how they call me black? And we love to say he's a black man. Right? But when you look at, when you look at the skin complexion, it's different shades of brown. Right? So they get we are accustomed to calling ourselves something that we is not. Right? Now we taking it on, now you're hearing it in music. Right? You hear a man say, but shoot a nigga thing, whatever it is, right? And all these things playing on the radio. So we hear it everywhere, we see receive it everywhere. We listening to it in the music that we listening to. It's all over. So it become a norm. Right? That's like the first time you see crime happening in Trinidad and that take place and will not take place, right? You'll be frightened because you know it's happening in Trinidad now. But it come on so much of it becomes so much of a normal thing now that you'll see a man die right across the road in front of a business place. When they move the body, business open as usual. People go in and buy their again, right? As normal. Not that that death becomes a normal thing. Right? It's the same way they call we so much of names that now it become a normal thing. A man calling himself a monster and all them sort of dotishness. Right? So this is what the other nations and them does do to China and Israel, because we don't know who he is. Right? When somebody don't know who they is, they don't know who the God is. Right? It's easy to play with the mind because these people become like a foolish people then. Right? They don't have no understanding of who they really is, where they come from, who is the God, what was the tradition. Right? So these other nations now giving you things to serve and giving you names to call yourself. Which you and all will know that we doing well at calling ourselves all kind of craziness, right? Because in the songs, who does sing most of the stupid songs and them? Shoot a nigga, thing a nigga, right? It's we people, right? Yeah.
How do we get the coolest? How do we get the coolest more from us?
Right? Getting close off our way by coming back to the ways of the Most High, serving the Most High, right? By you knowing that you're an Israelite, changing your ways from the things that you used to do before, meaning to repent, right? And return back to the Most High. You can't, like all the pastors will say, as I say earlier on, pastors will tell you, come as you are. Tell them, find come as you are in the scriptures, you cannot find it. Because they say to hide anything from a black man, put it in a book. We don't read. So that, therefore, if it is all this knowledge right here in this book, that on my grandmother wardrobes for so long collecting dust, right? All the information on who he is. If we take up this book, right, and find the men who the Most High ordained to bring out the word and break down scriptures, right? True men, not these men and them in churches that not teaching you is an Israelite, not showing you is supposed to have one of Frenches. This is our law. This is our law, right? And so long as we're not keeping the laws of the Most High going to keep punishing you. Right? If you have children at home, right, and they're not doing what it is you say, you will have them playing with the same PlayStation and enjoying what the things that you give them, or you will take the things as a punishment. Take the things as a punishment. Right? So this is what going out nation of Israel. You have it?
This book of Acts 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simon, that was called Nigger.
That was called what?
That was called Nigger.
So you see how long they call me nigger, right? This in the Bible.
Repeat the line again.
Read it from it up.
Acts 13 and verse 1. Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Nigger.
Right? These are Israelite men that was called nigger since back then, right?
How do you spell it?
Spell it.
N-I-G-E-R.
Right, they just take out one G from it.
Isn't there a country name now?
That's name what? Nigger?
Niger.
Right? But
That's the name of the country now.
right? In Africa. But this talking about a particular people.
Understand, yeah.
Right? They was calling them. They take out one G out of it so that we will understand what they're trying to say, right?
We understand in Bible we use like Israel for example, use country names for reference.
Exactly, right? But when you're looking at this, read it over again.
Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets,
So this is men that the Pope will not give this name to, right?
certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon.
Right, so Barnabas and Simeon, right? They was calling them nigger. This is two Israelite men. Right? They wasn't calling them Niger as some place in Africa, as you see, right? They was specifically calling, come like see so in our car passing there, they're calling me and you nigger. Right? I'll just show you an example, right? So they're calling out of these men and calling them nigger specifically. Right? And these men are what? These men are Israelite men. So this is a name that they put on the children of Israel.
The reason why I brought it up is because I understand that.
I just speak a little louder.
The reason why I brought it up, sorry, is because I understand in the Bible, God uses countries to represent people and places or whatever it may be as reference, right? So,
but even though at your point, right? I need the culture, right?
yeah.
Our country does get its name after the people that live in there. Not the country naming, not the people get the country name. Like China, right? You see the Chinese people living in China, they name they China because of the people that live in there. India will get its name because Indians living in India. Right? When the Israelites was in Israel, right, the days where it get its name in Jerusalem. Right? The name changed to Israel because Jacob, our forefather, name was changed from Jacob to Israel. So that's how we get our name Israel. Right? That is just not a make-up name or something. That is we name from we forefather.
I'm going to ask something that going somewhere real crazy. Right? And just, what is that question? So, let's say you're correct. They were calling us those words from way back then. That name. What is the bad thing about that? We understand that that name has a negative connotation. Where did the negative connotation come from? Because we could only assume from here that in the Bible they may have meant it in a, where they call them Niger, they may have meant it in a bad way, they may have meant it. We don't know, we weren't there. Where did that negative connotation from that name come from? Who brought that negative connotation? Could it be that those same people that brought that name, the connotation of, not the name itself, right? Because the name started off as a name. The connotation to it, where did it come from?
When you name itself, right? When they call a man nigger, nigger means a low person, right? It's a degraded name, right? And they give one particular people that name, right? Right? Just like we read in Deuteronomy 28 and 57, right? A proverb and a Bible. Nigger means disgusting, just like they call it black. Black means disgusting, filthy. If your food you cooking rice and it get black, you believe you get it because you was washing or doing something outside and running inside. Do you not eat that black rice? So no. But would you eat that rice? No. You throw it away, right? Because the black it wasted, it's not good, right?
Well, it's not because it's black, not because it's wasted.
It's wasted, right?
Yeah.
So where you feel the calling you when it is the color black? Because clearly you're not black. Color black, you're brown. Right? Black means disgusting, disgraceful.
Well, to be fair, nobody has ever called me black or I've ever responded to black. I've responded to, hi, my name is Kyle. I've never considered myself black or the N-word. I don't like to say it bad. I've never considered myself that. But I understand, you know, that is why I asked the question, how you get rid of the things that warn us. Because what I'm hearing, and this is just what I'm hearing that, okay, we're pleased. This is happening to us. So what I will say is, okay, so let's use the names. So the names are happening to us. So what I think we could do is kind of stop saying it to ourselves. But then you will say, but we're cursed. So it can't stop happening because we're cursed. I understand what you're saying. So how do we get rid of it?
So this is,
Or do we go back to using actual real life solution based?
so this is Deuteronomy 28, right, and verse 1, right? So it says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently and listen, right, unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So if you listen to me, I would bless you, I would set you above all the other nations. Now this year in Deuteronomy, speaking to the children of Israel, so he's telling them, if all you listen, I will set all you above everybody else on the earth, because all you set apart for me, right? If you read that. So as a father, if I have children, I say, well, alright, at 6 p.m., all phones down, games down, doing some reading, studying in the scriptures. And if them rebel against that, they will get punished, right? So this is verse 1. So if we jump to verse 15, it says, but, right, because from 1 to 14, he listed all the blessings that they would get if they listen, right? And it's only right? But when you reach out verse 14, my bad, 15, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, if thou listen to me, right? Unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, as I tell you here in verse 1, it says, for you listen to me, or you would get blessed. If you don't listen, you would get cursed. So therefore, to remove the curse, what we have to do? Listen and keep the commandments. So therefore, as you say, how would we remove the curse? The same in how we get into it. You didn't listen, you get cursed. If you want to remove it, listen.
So you just said upon ourselves.
Basically, as you read, Israel went off and sinned, and just as you tell them, you listen to my blessing. If you don't listen, I curse you. Listen. Right? So, as you ask to remove it, keep the commandment. So, for example, like today, it's the Sabbath day, right? 7 days is the Sabbath day. It's a commandment to tell them, keep the Sabbath. Alright, you see now, Israel not listening. That is why you would see our people only sprung out on drugs, right? They homeless, they basically getting shut down in the streets, abused. Only us living in the lower parts of the city. You know, one find our race living in Val, St. and Westmoreland, if you being real on a mass level. Now it's half 1 or 2, but on a mass level we're speaking about, right? You would see different races. Therefore, in the songs you would hear from the ghettos and the slums, the trenches, that is not a coincidence. So therefore, to come out of that, you have to keep the laws, statutes and commandments. So, as example 1, the Sabbath day, right? That's the day, right? Keep the Sabbath holy, right? And the next one would be the fringes, right? As God I read here, he say, put this on your garments that they can remember the laws, statutes and commandments, right? Another one would be as men, right? Go shave your beard, understand? The next one would be go eat unclean meat, right? Like pig, right? Shrimp, crab, lobster, these things unclean food. So therefore, all of that is part of the commandment. So if you want to remove the curse, keep the commandment. Simple. You understand?
So we know how to remove the curse.
So we know how according to the scripture.
Right? We know how to remove it. But as I say, like to follow after the other nations and them. Why most I say how you're following after the other nations so much that you will give you up to these other nations and them. Right? So that they will put you in slavery. Right?
So, okay. So, we need to stop following the
Right. We need to
that's
stop,
how we solve it.
right. Which means we need to stop sinning. These nations and them was not given the law of the Most High to follow. We was given the law. to follow, right? So therefore, if it is we have the law and we break the law, right, of the Mosai, then the Mosai say, if you break my commandments, I will put these curses on you as a nation of people.
So that means we do it for ourselves.
We break the law, statute, and commandments of the Mosai, and did this to our own self.
That's what it was doing. Because the context of
The curse come upon Israel when it is we break the commandments of the Mosai.
right.
Alright, the Mosai give we the law, statute, and commandments to live by. And tell we in Deuteronomy 28, right? Okay, so I'll show you.
Because I could say this, right? I could say that I could damage, I could hurt my hand. Me purposely hurt my hand. And I could say that I'm cursed. Or I could hurt my hand and say, I just hurt my hand. Let me stop hurting my hand. Or, you could call it either or. I prefer to call it, let me stop hurting my hand. Because that way, we get problems.
So this is why the Israelites on them in the position that they're in today, right? Because Mosai given we the laws, statutes, and commandments to live by, but Israel don't want to live by the word of God. Right? Yeah? There's 613 laws in the Bible, right? Some of the laws the brother now give you which cannot eat the unclean foods.
I follow all the laws.
Right?
Pork, shrimp, I follow all the laws.
You follow the laws that you know, right? You still have laws. You still have the laws that were in your fringes, right? Which you now know today, right?
Could we agree that none of us follow all the laws?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, agree as in before that we didn't know.
Well, we didn't know, but now that we know, gotta to the best of your ability, try to keep all the laws and commandments that you know about.
Which means that we still don't follow all the laws.
We still don't follow, some of us still don't follow all the laws.
All of us don't follow the laws. That's what God said. And God said, if any of us admit to following all the laws, that within itself is a sin.
Listen, right? As I know today, like one of the laws that you do know, wear your fringes, stay away from eating unclean meats, right? Repent as soon as you know you do something, you go off, right? These things are laws, statutes, and commandments that the Mosai give you, right? Now, if it is we don't know it, the Mosai say he winked at our wickedness because we did not know, right? So as soon as you know this is a law that we need to follow as a people, we need to start putting away the breaking of that law and come now to following the law, right? So as soon as you learn something that the Mosai is pleased with, you start doing so, right? If you don't know a law of the Mosai, how could you argue? Even with the law of the land, right? You might not know that this is a law that you can get charged for, right? So by not knowing, you might be willful, you might be doing it, but you're unaware that is a law, right? But when you read the scriptures and you get to understand, well, all right, this is a law, all right, now let's stop doing what doing and start following this, right? You might see our next law, all right, I need to start doing this, our next thing, right? So that's how you will come to it. You would not know everything at once, right? But gradually, whilst you're reading, whilst you're being in fellowship with other brothers, they can show you, well, all right, you need to start weighing your fringes, right? You need to put on the pork, shrimp, crab, and the lobster. You need to start doing X, Y, and Z, right? So from there now, you're taking baby steps to coming into the truth, right? You just come into the truth like a man learning to drive. He just don't go and learn once or twice, and then after he's a professional driver, right? It are things that mistake he might make, the person not teaching him will correct him on what is he doing, right? So he can get more better at, learning how to be on the road as a driver, right? Which means we may not be doing everything that the law say to do, right? But as soon as you learn and you say, all right, you see something in the scriptures and you say, all right, this is a commandment, all right, I need to stop breaking this commandment, and you learn that one now, and you move on, and you keep moving on, right? On a daily basis, because you would not know everything at the same time, as I now saying, right? But as soon as you know something is breaking the laws of the Mosai, you stop doing it, and you turn to what it is the Mosai say that you should do as an Israelite man or woman.
Right? I've asked what the laws of That were the laws that God gave. That would help our nation, right? And you gave two laws. You gave about the frills, and you gave about this. What I'm trying to get to are the laws that you said that we're not following, that we should be following, that will get us back to God.
If we go to go through the 6 weeks, stay here day and night. Right?
I think those are the important things. If that is the answer to it, I think if to get our people closer to God,
there's some laws, even though right now we can't keep like making a sacrifice with the temple and all them things. Right now the temple was diminished, right? All these sacrifices that you're making right now is turning away from the worldly life, right? And you're turning back to the Most High. Like we here now, we not only block smoking, we talking more manner of shiftiness, right? We changed that, and we here now talking about the word of God. That's kind of like a spiritual sacrifice, right? And you put off the things of this world, and you're praying, you're coming together, and you're discussing things of God to make yourself a better people. This is part of coming out of the places what we're doing right now.
Because we really right also include not only bad things of the world, like vices, foods, all these different things. All of them are considered. I think if God says something, I think it should be taken literal.
Right. But when the Bible says vices,
and I think ways of the world, that involves everything of the world. I think everything we can connect to is damaging the world in some streamline, right? Basically, from devices, clothes, brands, these different things. So I think to be fair, we can't, yes, absolutely, we not only block, but there is more that can be done. It's just, I think, if you're willing, if it's in your heart, that's how I look at it. I don't think it's necessary, but that's how I look at it. I go all the way with it. I'm serious about the Bible, all these different things, and go ahead, sorry.
You're saying that, so like example, you're saying that, so for example, you're saying that if we wear like I said shoes or clothes, I mean we would be off the world. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
So okay, so it has a long and a short. I'll give you the short. Short, yes. Long, not necessary, because I have a clothes too, right?
So
but
basically, right, us wearing now certain clothes, like I can understand with certain like graphics on it. You would not wear, but it's still like a shoes or a jersey or a pants, right? Therefore, if we say a lie, I know wearing this brand, but this is all it have in the store right now to wear. Would that mean I would be right just over months and just walk outside naked because, hey, that of the world and I know wearing that. So I could just walk out naked.
No, I don't mean literally. I think you know what I mean. I don't mean naked, right? I think that I can buy.
you understand your point? You think that you don't understand it. Our next point I will show you is, right? You say money is our equivalent, but when we need money to survive, right? You need money to buy things to provide for your family.
Technically, no.
You need money to provide?
No.
You can live off the earth.
Yes, you can, but even back then in this book,
You need money
our
to
forefathers
survive.
had gold and these things. They need like to buy land and whatnot. They can't just say, well, alright.
Because, you see,
As I said, you need money to like buy land.
I don't wanna.
I know, but what I'm saying is you need money, especially in this day and time, you need money to do stuff. You need alright,
Stuff like what?
provide for your household, right? Therefore, you would need money to buy alright. I would say like simple things like deodorant, toothpaste, right? These kind of things. You need money to buy these things, you understand?
They get those things naturally.
Yes.
They get naturally.
Yes, we know, but alright, let me say if we here now, we from the cities, right? We growing up wouldn't have much knowledge on these natural remedies, whatnot, right?
And that is why we're
Not
talking
saying
about black people and the books.
not saying that we can't
Well,
learn,
people, sorry.
right? Not saying that we can't learn, but if you're saying that you don't need money, I would say, like today, saying that you don't need money, I would say that
I don't mean
being
endless, right?
right just over much because you need money to do stuff
You know,
in this day and time.
You
So
need the transport, you need the
understand what I'm
food,
saying about
even the
that
glasses
just
that
some-
you're wearing, you have
right,
to
just
purchase
over
it.
much, so.
After a certain time, prescription, your body need to do it over again. So you need money in order to survive, right? And I'll show you an example of that, right? If you come to you and we can only tell you that I'll find it.
Alright, so this year, right? This year, what we going into when you say that sometimes we would have our part to play. Like you say, sometimes we would call ourselves the names, right? Right. Like most of the times, our brothers who don't know, right? They would call us like, "Oh nigga, what you see?" Right? And now them lost, them don't know, them would think it's a good thing because that's what it was taught, right? Now watch this. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 48, right? Just right. It says, "Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness." So hunger, thirst and nakedness, you have to go take enemies for everything, right? You know. And in one of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. So basically, he's telling you the enemy, he will put a yoke of iron on the neck. Therefore, when we came here, they had yokes of iron on the neck. Therefore, if you have a trained dog, they don't need to walk it with a leash because it's not going anywhere. So therefore, it say, until he have destroyed it, meaning the yoke will be on the neck and about not forever. So until he destroy it, I don't know if you ever watch Roots, right? This actor, I think they call him Kunta Kinte. If you watch that, a certain part of the movie, they beat him until he say his name was Toby. So therefore, like for now, our brothers out there in the world, they don't know they lost. It was taken away from us, beaten out of us. Therefore, they did their religions and these things into us and make us forget who we are. So now, our brothers out there, or like you example, who didn't know, right? Example, the fringes, there are plenty of brothers out there who don't know. Therefore, they will think, well, I call myself nigga, it's a good thing. Going out on Friday evenings, party, drink, lunch, smoke, that's a good thing because we've seen it happening. So they think it's the normal thing to do. So therefore, they don't know. So I would say that is what contributing to our brothers, like, calling themselves the names and whatnot. But at have a point to the ones who do know and just want to be wicked, right? That's just off, right? And therefore, the Lord will deal with them and that. But therefore, the ones who don't know, right? The Lord brings that on. I would say the ones that don't know, they're them contributing to it, not knowing that it's actually destroying them or not knowing that it's a bad thing to their race. But the ones who do know, them would have to, you know, take that view. So this is Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things.
Alright, so you can either serve the enemy in hunger, meaning to get food, and in thirst to get water, right? And in want of all things, clothing, transport, anything. Diapers, say baby, milk, anything you need, right? This is Lamentations 5 and verse 1. Remember, O Lord, what is brought upon us, and consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance, meaning like how you say earlier on, you don't need money, you don't need X, Y, and Z, right? Because you have natural things, you could do things with, right? This is the inheritance of the nation of Israel. All land, everything, right? So we could live natural, right? But watch this. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our house to aliens. Aliens mean the other nations and them, right? Them is who own everything, all these business here that we see, right? Them own it, right? They're controlling it, right? We are orphans and fatherless. Which nation of people is always leaving a trend behind on thing, mostly? One nation of people, you agree, right? Our mothers are widows. Plenty of we mothers today turning widows at a young age because the husband getting gone down in the road. Right? A man might be looking to go to work to make a honest living and don't reach home. Right? We have drunken our water for money. So you see how to make this money important. Without money, now you can say drink a glass of water, which is sent from the most side, right? Now what these nations are them doing, they take over everything, they're in control of everything. And now we have to work and labor to buy the same things that the Most High give me, as you say. You said it just now, right? That these things natural and we don't need to buy these things, right? But now the other nations put it in such a way that if you don't work and labor for them, then you cannot eat, you can't drink, you can't clothe yourself. Right? We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. When we want to build a house, we have to go now and buy the same materials that naturally on the earth. We have to turn now and go and buy. Because if you take it up just like that, they tell you're quarrying illegal. Mean like you go in a quarry and you're taking all the rocks and stone and turning it into gravel, right? So they tell you now you're doing an illegal quarrying. Right? So now they have a case against you and they can charge you for, you know, even cutting down trees to try to make a house. Right? Our necks are under oppression. We have labored and have no rest selected. Right? So when it is sometimes we come home from work, you're so tired that you can't really do nothing that you want to do. Right? Because your day at labor, it was so terrible that when you reach home, all you can do is probably take a bath and go and lie down and rest, right? We have given, that's not my bring this up. We have given a hand to the Egyptians and the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. Our fathers have sinned and are not. This is why we are still in the land of captivity today, right? Our fathers have sinned and are not. And we have borne their iniquity. So we forefathers and them, right? Break the commandments of the Most High. And now we paying for what it is we forefathers do even today. Generations after, right? Yes, sir. Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doeth deliver us out of their hands. So nobody wants to deliver we out of this captivity. The only way out is that we come back to the ways of the Most High. Right? You can bring out your point there.
When I saw last night, I saw you were talking about. Sorry. And I saw you all talking about God. Obviously, I was interested in the fringes, not fringes as well as. It's because at the end, the curtains, at the end, it is.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah. So,
fringes.
I just want to say something. There's mockery and all to answer at all.
Nice stripping.
All again, this curtain thing coming on.
That's the first thing I was going to say. But
Right.
sorry.
Go ahead. I just wanted to tell you.
I take that very serious. Mocking people up there. I take that very, very serious because I don't want to get somebody else. I take that very serious. We were speaking earlier with regards to the religions, the different religions. We have our customs with regards to Christianity. People have their religion. I don't know about the religion, but one thing I don't think we should, whether directly or indirectly, say anything, speak upon any religion. I think God also said that in the Bible. I don't have that, but I will get it and come because I've been.
Well, you need to get that for
but
it because
God speaks about not